Greetings, friends, and welcome to another Friday post-flight. That's right, we are back at it. Number 25. I remember doing the pre-flight all the way into the hundreds. Let's see if we can get up there with this show as well. A very special guest today, somebody that I've had the pleasure of hanging out with on more than a few occasions. Wonderful, wonderful perspective on things, and a great channel, over 15,000 subscribers and growing. Wonderful, wonderful videos. Just a great perspective. Somebody who goes about it a little different than most. A little agenda-free news. For those of you who are popping in, like Carlos Alfredo Lopez and Ruby Hoove and Captain Krusty Heart and all of you out there, I truly appreciate it. E-Clay, I was not late. I started almost exactly on time to the second. The lovely Sherry is here as well, and we've got Hoove in the house. Indeed, we are off. And this is the man of the hour, Views with Hughes, agenda-free news. So without further ado, let's welcome Hughes. Hughes, you are here. How are you, Hughes?
I am. I'm taking up the whole screen right now, and I'm fine so far. How about yourself?
I actually am fantastic. I have to tell you that I appreciate you being here. The biggest problem that I've found with using this streaming software is it's very delicate. So if you hit the wrong button, things look weird. But no, I'm glad that you're here. You want to tell everybody what you do because you've got a compelling channel, my friend.
Well, what I usually do is talk pop culture without an agenda, even though I've been accused of having an agenda, but used by those who are of a certain ideological, political spectrum affiliation and everything. But other than that, when I say agenda free, I mean I'm not going for the status quo. I'm not a shill for these big corporations and everything. I'm just sharing out there what the people are thinking, and then there's some people out there who are biased and everything who basically have an issue with that. So basically, they have an issue with a black man who's also a nerd. He also has some news to share out there and stuff without any kind of political agenda or motive, anything like that. And I'm also looking go ahead and getting back into like current events and stuff. So other than that, I just share some news as well as particular commentary and everything. Some people would say that it's like kind of in a manner of Alex Jones minus the conspiracy theories and stuff. But other than that, I mean, I'll take it as it is. So glad to be here. Glad to have you all here. Hello, lovely Sherry, baby Hoover, and as well. How y'all doing?
Yeah, we've got an amazing chat out there already and building as we go. Lots of stuff to talk about and lots of places to go. Real quick,
Is it
go
okay
ahead.
if I let them know that right after this show I'll be having my live stream on my channel as
Oh,
well?
absolutely. Please do. In fact, I would encourage you to do that. In fact, what you need to do for me is actually allow me to redirect people to you because that means you have to add my channel in the background, or I can't send people to you, which would
Oh,
be a huge bummer.
that's gonna
Yeah.
take me a while. But while we're talking about this, we're gonna go ahead and try
Sure.
to figure that out.
Sure, sure. Yeah, we've got the traditional structure for this show, which is we're going to talk. I'm going to ask you the same three questions I ask all the first time guests, and then we will talk about all the other things that are going on in the world. But between those two things, we talk about some weird news. Which, believe me, there's plenty of today. We got 3 stories in the weird news category. We got 3 regular topics to talk about. And yeah, we've got anything that you want to share at the very end because you get the time to plug yourself, which you can talk all about your channel, what you're working on, what's coming up next, including that live stream we were talking about just a moment ago. So I'm
Right
pretty
on.
st- I'm pretty excited. I don't know about you, but the next step up is going to be 3 questions. Are you
All
ready?
right.
Here
Yep.
we here we go. Okay, maybe not.
into that, and I'm gemmed to all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I love it. The enthusiasm is fantastic. And the chat's over here on the other side, so we get to see them as we go, which I think is great. I love all these features that we get to utilize. But we've got three questions, the same three questions that I always ask each and everybody. So the format of the show, we're going to ask you the first question, which is, what was your favorite TV show of all time? Can be any TV show. What is your favorite?
Favorite TV show of all time? I'd
Yep.
have to say, well, I've actually like a lot of them and everything, but I'm just gonna have to go with Seinfeld because of the fact that not only is it a show about nothing, but that was probably like the last era of the real good, clever comedy and everything. But I mean, yeah, like there was some that were later on that were really good, like Two and a Half Men and everything. Even that's It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But
Yeah.
I really actually enjoyed Seinfeld because of the fact that it was simple yet funny.
Well, what I noticed there, Hughes, is that you're highlighting comedies. Would you say that comedies are kind of your jam? That's what you prefer when you watch television?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, when it comes to like other television shows, I like the classic stuff, like drama or even like some sort of supernatural stuff. Basically, the stuff that were good before everything decided to go ahead and go woke.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, there was like some shows. No, actually, I take that back. Well, no, I still love Seinfeld, but I
Okay.
really do enjoy like Stranger Things and everything. Sees the first three seasons and then season four and all of that. It's the season four was good, but it didn't really give me the kind of chills and the build up like I got from the first three seasons. And with season five, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it.
Hmm.
But other than that, I'll still watch it. I'll still binge watch it. But other than that, like the latest seasons, like seasons 3 and 4, I didn't really do much of a rewatchability with them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, I think a lot of the people in the chat are got their own views as well. But let's move on. We got the second question. I think this one is kind of telling. So because it's what is your comfort film? What's your go-to film when you're homesick or when you're homesick? What is that film that you put on when things are not exactly, at their best?
The film I put on like when I'm home, at home sick, as well as when things are not their best. Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Especially like sometimes like when I watch it and everything, or if I'm even in the mood for like a burger, I go ahead to DoorDash, order like any kind of burger and stuff, even if it's like a southwestern burger, and then at the fast forward to the part where Bandit as well as Smokey is at the Buford T. Justice or at the restaurant and everything. He orders a Diablo and Dr. Pepper, Diablo sandwich and Dr. Pepper, and not just eat the burger right when I'm at that part.
That's amazing. That sounds like a fun tradition. Yeah, Burt Reynolds was kind of a fun guy. That film definitely is pretty cool. I remember it. Man,
Yeah.
you've got some older taste, my friend. My goodness, you like the
Well, my
old school stuff.
well, my dad got me into stuff like that. I enjoyed like Blazing Saddles as well as some of the good black culture movies like Uptown Saturday Night with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, yeah. No, Sidney Poitier, what a loss. It's too bad we lost him not that just a
Yeah.
few years ago. What an incredible actor.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. We got people in the chat firing back at you. Some people shooting out Cannonball Run. Captain Krusty Hart out there says Cannonball Run.
Oh.
Oh, and do you like the toy? Did you ever see that with
I did. I did.
Pryor? Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, like last week, I actually thought about that movie, especially at the part where he was about to spank the boy.
Yes. I have to tell you, Richard Pryor could do just about any role. I just wish he'd been able to stick around with us longer. Dragnet was an interesting movie, Ruby Hoove. I think that's a good one for trying to bring joy to your heart when you're not doing so well. Terry Rose says, talk about a failure to communicate.
Dead.
That's right. That's from Smokey and the Bandit, right? Yeah. That's really interesting. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tina Guzman has Smokey and the Bandit on Blu-ray. That's awesome.
I need to get that.
Yeah. Argentum, how are you doing? Good to see you. And yeah, we've got so many great people in the chat, and we're building all the time. Thank you to the many people watching on Twitter. And so far, we don't have any big green machine folks, but there you go.
Also, I will say this one, like I did catch like a lot of heat for this on your 6 minute daily and all of that. When I stated that the movie I saw the most in theaters was Knives Out.
Oh yeah, that was Ryan Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah. At least it wasn't
that
Star
was
Wars.
that was Ryan Johnson, and with Star Wars, he's Ruin Johnson.
He is Rowan Johnson, indeed. Remember that part in Smokey and the Bandit where his deputy son goes, "Daddy, my hat blew off." Buford T goes, "Hope your goddamn head was in it." So
Yeah,
I just said a
I
bad
remember
word on
that.
my channel. I don't say bad words, so well done. Chris Shapiro's out there. I started singing Buford T. Justice. Yep. I'm Buford T. Justice, fearless law fighter.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
That's true. Yeah, and I thought Knives Out was perfectly fine. I did not like The Glass Onion as much. So,
Yeah, I heard about that, and I'm like, I'm good. And then I saw some clips for it, and like, oh yeah, they decided to go in a different direction with that, so I'm good.
yeah, well, they took the Netflix money, I think, is what happened. We got Rob Litton over on the Green Machine, the big R. Can't really say it, but you can see the little green button up here next to Rob's name. Says
Hey,
Krusty
Rob.
Hart. Yep. It says Krusty Hart had to head back to his dimension. He asked me to sit in. Hail all. Well, hail to you, Rob. Good to see you. Yeah, a lot of people didn't see that. I think probably because it was just on Netflix, and some people don't watch stuff on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And Pinochet's helicopter tours over on the Green Machine says Rumble layout is great. Made the information bar terrible. Yeah, I have to tell you, Google really did change their bottom bar, and it has changed a lot. I didn't really like the look. Not only that, it screwed up a lot of creators. It took away a lot of views for about 2.5 weeks. Whatever else they did in the background. Subhuman, I was sorry to hear about your loss. My prayers are with you and your family, my friend. Hopefully, you can make it through. It's tough losing your last grandparent for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Hooves said that Forbidden Kingdom is my go-to flick. That makes a lot of sense. Truly does.
Forbidden Kingdom. That sounds familiar. Was that the one with Jackie Chan and Jet Li?
Forbidden Kingdom.
Or did I mess that up?
I'm just gonna double check because the one that I know was Boston's Chinatown area, right? It had Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and I think that was a while ago. It was like 2008, maybe. Is that right?
So I think somebody in the chat said you got it right.
Yeah, you did good. You have good memory, Hughes. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And then, well, Ruby Hughes says you got it right. There you go.
Well, I mean, of course, because that's the one movie where we all wanted to see Jackie Chan and Jet Li in it together.
That's true. That's true.
whether they're teaming up or they're fighting against each other.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that one that was kind of odd with Jet Li? One of his first ones here in the States. It was an Americanized film. It was called The One.
Yes, I did. The soundtrack for that featured Papa Roach's Last Resort on it and stuff. It was weird. It was also the one where Jason Statham had hair, and you also saw one of the early works with Terry Crews and everything. How about that for memory?
Wow, that's better than mine, dude. How did you remember the soundtrack? Crazy.
Because the song is real good.
There you go. Yeah. Aov says Tom Cruise to star in the next Alejandro, Inarritu Revenant director film. Interesting. Well, it doesn't surprise me. He does a lot of action, even at his own age. All right, I got one more question for you, Hughes. I can't speak today. Hughes, words are
Alrighty.
hard. All right, okay, I got one more question, and this one usually hits people differently. This one hits people differently. You okay? I'll just ask it directly. What is your best or favorite film experience? It's not your favorite film. It's like the event itself. What was the film that really, when you went to see it, made an impact? Not just because of the film, or maybe not even because of the film, but what was your favorite going to a film moment? What was that? What was that for you?
I'd have to say Avengers Endgame.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, because of the fact that it was two times in that movie I actually cried in it.
Really?
Oh yes, Tony Stark died and everything, and then the funeral. Yeah, that really took me out. And like even when I watched it on Disney Plus and stuff before, right when that part came up, tears started flowing again.
I hear you. It makes sense. I look. I mean that hits you in the emotional, in the feelings. But I think I love you 3,000 or what it is that she says.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean that
Somebody somebody said that, also funny fact, somebody said that that movie was like 3,000 minutes long.
it was pretty long. Some people. So
3,000 minutes long, and I love you 3,000. That really messed me up when I learned about that.
well, I like I said, I thought it was a great film. I really feel like it does have a lot of emotional moments in it. But
Hmm.
you know, was there something special around all of that? Did you feel like oh, how do I ask this question? Did you feel like there were people with you that was important to see with, or was it just it was a solo experience and it just happened to be the film that just touched you the most?
Oh, it was solo. It was a
Yeah.
solo experience for me and stuff. I was by myself. Funny fact well, at least the theater I was seeing it at. Uh, I wasn't the only male in there crying. I heard
Oh, I
dudes in there who were bigger than me crying and stuff.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. I believe me, I understand that. The That moment was really really powerful. I can't think of any more emotional moments in those films that really hit you in the feels. Um, you knew Captain America was going to come back, and I really didn't like the way they ended Captain America's journey there. How about you?
Oh, I'm right there with you also. And the fact that, he gave the mentor to uh Falcon, I mean
Yeah,
Sam, and then next thing you know, the series of Falcon and Winter Soldier come up, and he decides not to take it and everything, instead to go wants to go ahead and put the shield on display in the museum and all of that, and then that's what turned me off from the series and everything. And the next thing I learned more stuff about it. But the fact of the matter is, they shouldn't have ended Cap's a journey like that. But I guess in that Chris Evans was probably done with it, and then seeing a whole different side of Chris Evans makes you look wish like, you know what? I wouldn't be upset if they replaced Chris Evans as Captain America.
understood. Understood.
But like having them kill off Robert Downey Jr. like that and everything, I mean, he's the one that actually did something far more nobler than what Captain America did. And that's sacrificing himself for the sake, not only for the sake of the world, but for the sake of the universe. Okay. And it's like he wasn't made leader and everything, thanks to Natasha Romanoff and all of that, and Nick Fury. But the fact of the matter is, like the the directors, the Russo brothers, they did an excellent job. At the same time, like Marvel and Disney didn't let them be creative, and it's understandable that they didn't want to work with them anymore. They don't want to do any more movies with them and all of that. But it's like but like my guess is like the only way that they'll have to do another Marvel movie with them is if Kevin Feige's gone, as well as if Bob Iger either has less power on the board, or if he's gone. Because remember, Bob Iger basically owned the board because he's the one that put the people up there.
Right.
And he knew that that's all the yes men and women. But the fact of the matter is, the Russo brothers, like Disney, has burned bridges with them.
Oh yeah, I don't think they'll ever come back. Um, I think that, and I think that's okay because they don't seem to have any interest in trying to reboot or reinforce all of the things that have been going on with Marvel since they left. So like I said, I don't blame them. I think they didn't leave on the best of terms, and they clearly didn't want the return of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. So at least in recent interviews, but wow. Well, I'd have to say I learned an awful lot. I was surprised by the Marvel reference. So wow, Hughes. Well, we got to know you better. Any last words on any of the things, any of the three questions I asked you before we look at the chat?
One thing I do have in my mind and stuff, and it's not actually related to it, but it's like a Marvel MCU reference. I'm still upset about the fact that they decided not to recast Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Like even his brother came forward and stated that they would have been done better at replacing him as Black Panther. And a lot of y'all gonna disagree with me when I say with this is as far as who I think that would be a good choice to be the new Black Panther, John D. Washington. Fight me.
I think that might work. I think he could probably do it. He's had some interesting roles where he's done very well. So I'm with you. They certainly could have recast him. Pinochet says that a bit of trivia: the cement plant that was in the movie Equalizer is the location of in the movie The Town. I did not know that. Well done, there, my friend. Chris Shapiro says his go-to film is The Matrix. So I've watched that an unhealthy amount of times. Yeah, but you bet you haven't watched the sequels an unhealthy amount of times. Hey, Avengers Rising is here. Jan 1st of 2025. The interview Dean Cain on how he felt being the first Superman to fight Metallo. Really? I'll have to check it out. Let's see. Pinochet says, my go-to film is Final Fantasy Advent Children. Wow. That one's an interesting film. Rob Linton says, I thought Culture's third question was going to be, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow carrying a coconut? Well, it would be laden, Rob, at that point. It would be laden. It would be a laden swallow. African or European. You guys are crazy. Ruby Hoove says, seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show. Let's do the time warp again. You know what? That is always a great movie experience, especially when you have a crowd that's into it and gets up there. They've dressed up for it, and they can stand in front of everybody, in front of the screen, and act it out in real time. It's always amazing. Can't tell you how many times I saw that. We've got Grim out there in Theater. Good to see you. Stitch says it's Showgirls. That's right. Showgirls is a good one. Hoove's going with Ruby Hoove just to be safe. That's a smart man right there. And Pinochet says, I'm actually glad Roundhead killed off Luke Skywalker, so I'm not subjected to that insufferable Mark Hamill. He has been insufferable of late. And, yeah, we got Hughes rejoining. Glad you popped back in. Spirian,
my audio went out.
Yeah, no worries. Spirian's here. Good to see you, my friend. And, by the way, Hughes, I sent you a picture.
Got it.
Yeah, cool. All right, on that note, let's do what we need to do next. Thank you all for jumping in. I truly appreciate you. Evil Ramen says, poor Mark Hamill, poor actors mostly. They really do not know anything. No, they're not very bright. Brian McCann, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Says 1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was an age of gargoyles. There you go, Brian. Well done, my friend. So Lois and Clark episode featuring Metallo aired the very first day of 95. Wow, that's amazing. You moved North Carolina. There you go. All right, we're going to pop into the next segment. We're going to talk about some weird news. You ready for some weird news there, Hughes?
I don't think I can handle it yet.
Okay, well, we're going to try anyway. Here we go. Weird news. All right, we got some weird news for you, Hughes, and one of my favorite kinds of stories. I found one because it happened just an hour ago.
Isn't it
What do you?
Florida?
No, actually, it's on the other coast, but we do have some Florida stuff. Of course, we do.
All the weird news come from Florida. Everybody know that.
Well, here's a weird one, and it's a combination of the two things that I love. Let me fire this up here in the layers. Here we go. Oh no, it doesn't show well. What happened there? Yeah, a bear blocks traffic on a California highway. That's right. There he is. He's out there. Little bear. Little bear. Oops. There it is. Just taking a stroll on the freeway.
Spoiler alert, it lived because it's
Yeah.
California.
Yeah. Santa Clarita. That's right. Bonkers sauce. Just a bear. Look at him. He's just like, nah, I'm going to walk over here. And I'll walk back over here. Everybody stops. They're not going to run over the bear. He's just
Over here,
he's
yeah,
super.
over here in Virginia, in my area, on I-64, like right near this like almost near my city, and I just learned it this morning. There were goats on the interstate.
Wow.
Goats.
Yeah.
I'm talking about goats.
That's amazing. Well, apparently this bear decided to just, take a view of the freeway. And the Dan Keynes, who took the video there, said he just wandered onto the 14 freeway and, just strolled out there at about 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So they just posted this news. It was from a few days ago. First time I've heard about it or seen it. So he just wanders the roadway and just, then crawls back up into the hills. So, yeah, I think that's a lot of fun, right? That's a pretty good story. So you had goats in your neck of the woods. California had bears. In Florida, what would they get?
Alligators.
That's right. Gators on the freeway. That happens all the time. So that's pretty crazy. So the chat responded to that one, and for good reason. Because guess what? Carlos Alfredo Lopez says time for some bear news. That's right. And Argentum says, that's not weird. It's actually kind of normal. Well, it happens. That's true. McCann's in Florida. That's right. He knows about them gators. And they have bears there, too. I'm telling you what, Florida got all kinds of wildlife, and they're going bananas. Florida man would wrestle a bear. That's true.
He would.
And there's a reason that bears are in California. They're on the flag. That's right. Yeah. Very cute. That's a cute-looking bear.
Until you're right, it's right in front of your face and stuff. You better make sure you know the color. If it's black or brown. If it's brown, run. If it's black, run. If it's white, run.
Well, I don't know how much attention I would draw to myself, but I understand that instinct, and it makes sense. You don't want to mess with a bear. But Olaf says you want to check out Views with Hughes of Agenda Free News. The link to his channel is in there. Thank you, Olaf, for doing the do and giving out your Twitter account as well.
Thank you, Olaf.
And of course, the Green Machine. It's great to see you, Olaf. It is really early in the morning where you are, dude. Try to get some rest, all right? And the Kennedy Space Center parking lot has gators everywhere. And they block parking places. They do. There's a preserve there. There's a wildlife reserve there in Florida. Around.
People who I met from Florida, who came from Florida and everything to Virginia, they told me that like treated the street gators down there the same way as we would treat ducks here. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you. And I'm like, I beg to differ. I don't care if I'm turning around and running and hoping that to see me. Okay.
Well, again, I understand and appreciate the instinct. Believe me, I do. All right, we've got actually another story. More wildlife. Today is Wildlife Day, apparently. Yes, it's 2 a.m. where Olaf is. Dude, get some sleep. But we're gonna jump on this next story, and these guys are sometimes referred to as bandits or trash pandas. That's right. Tokyo is struggling to deal with a crop-destroying raccoon invasion. That's right. They're invading Japan, or at least an area that they don't want them. And it's a very invasive North American raccoon. So it got over there probably on a ship. maybe a family of them, and they were fruitful and multiplied, which is not good because I don't think they have any predators there. So authorities in Tokyo are struggling to deal with the problems caused by an especially wily invasive species, North American raccoons. That's right. The city reported a number of raccoons living in the wild in Tokyo and its surrounding areas. They are skyrocketing. They trapped 1,282 in 2022, a sharp increase from the 259 that they caught in fiscal 2012. Yes, I would say that's pretty much an exploding population, and it's only probably going to get worse. They've established a breeding population in the wild after being brought as pets and either escaping or being abandoned. That's crazy. Raccoons became popular pets in Japan after an animated TV series called Rascal the Raccoon. Wild.
Oh, no, 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 no. Because this reminds me of like the news. I'm not sure if you heard about this like a few years ago, and this was like a couple of years before the pandemic happened. New York had a raccoon problem, and this comes to show when like how smart the former mayor De Blasio was and stuff. This dude, like, to combat the rat infestations and stuff, they decided to go ahead and bring raccoons up there to try to go ahead and run after the rats and get them. Only to find out they're running rampant and stuff in parts of like the New York City, like Brooklyn and everything. And I'm thinking that was a lie at first, and then one day I'm getting into this Lyft car and everything with the Lyft driver who's from New York. He told me, nope, that is true. I'm like, seriously? And then he tells me, yes, like there's people, my sister up there, he said his sister up there stated that, that she called the police and all of that, trying to tell them, and the police told her to just drive around a block and go to her doorway like that with the when she saw a bunch of raccoons right near her house and stuff.
Wow. That's
Oh yeah.
insane. Yeah, I've only ever had fleeting experiences with raccoons. So they don't really necessarily mess with things if you keep your garbage tidied up north and things like that. But that's kind of odd. But we did get an amazing gift from WG, who gifted 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you for that, WG. I appreciate all your support, and everybody appreciated getting them. That's right, WG for 5 Culture Casino memberships. I appreciate it. Look at all those names turn green, my friend. It's great to see you. We got a couple other things to get to. You wanted to make any final comments on the $2.8 million in crop damage that they caused in 2022? Those were silly raccoons. Look at that.
I think that might have been more than what Australia experienced with the rat problems and stuff they had a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. All right, well, if you're looking for funny news, you can always find out odd news on UPI. It's one of the only things they're useful for anymore. So, to be fair. Let's see. We got more stuff coming up. We got great people in the chat. Let's take a look at our third and final odds story of the day. This one should be fun, my friend. So there was an absolute dinosaur found on a school path. I bet you already know this. I bet you already know where it is. That's right, Florida. A gator was seen on a Florida school path. And, well, here he is. I'm not going to watch this on Instagram, but you can see this gator right here. He's massive. That's like an 11-footer, probably.
They call it a dinosaur alligator.
Oh, yeah. While wildlife trappers were called to a Florida school where an absolute dinosaur of an alligator came wandering up a path. Pinellas County Sheriff's Office said deputies responded to a report of a large gator on a pathway used by kids who walk to and from a nearby elementary school. So, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, they showed up. Oh, it's 12 and a half foot. Holy cow, that is a monster. So, yeah, PCSO, which is Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, remained in the area to keep the public from accidentally stumbling across it. And the deputies helped trappers capture the gator and recload it to a more suitable habitat that was far from the school. You ever come in contact with a gator there, Hughes?
Heck no.
Yeah.
Because the moment I see an alligator and everything, just even across the street from me, I'm going and running.
Wow. Hey, Six is in the chat. There you go. So is Read by Nature. And Rob, you are correct. Raccoons do spread rabies. Let's see. We had a raccoon pet when I was young. They're great as pets. They're really smart. Yeah, they're really smart. A little bitey, but they do spread rabies, so you got to be careful.
Suddenly, Hammerstad is trying to give me nightmares in the chat right now. Talk about some cocaine alligators, cocaine gators.
Yeah. Ruby Hoof says, we had a possum family in our basement. Live trapped them and let them loose in various cornfields. They love dry cat food. Well, I bet you that's why they showed up. And that was a big fella. Yeah. McCann says, 11-foot gator, small gator. 12.5-foot gator. I don't know, man. It's pretty big. Six is like, hey, can we get an 8-year-old to stand next to him for a size comparison? That would be lunch. Six,
Hey, Six.
What are you trying to do? Get the kid killed?
Hey, Six, big fan.
Just for the record, raccoon does not taste that pleasant. If only they did, the population would explode. Well, there you go. Zombie Box Reviews. What's up, my friend? Great to see you. Check out Zombie Box Reviews. Look at that. Yeah. That's how Chubbs lost his hand. That's right.
Dig.
Hey, there's my man, Lester San Jose. He's renewing his membership as a high roller. I am glad to hear that you are on the mend, my friend. Was worried when I heard you were not doing well, so it's good to see you. Mr. Buttcrack Media is out there, the guy that keeps everything flowing on the internet. Great to see you, Mr. Buttcrack Media. I'm going to have to pay off Pro to get that commercial because I really want to run that. Six was like, I'm glad I didn't have my earbuds in. Yeah, well, he was excited there, running away from the gator. All right, we're done with the odd news. Now, we have topics, and one of the great things about having you here today is to have you cover these topics, right? Because I have a feeling that you'll take your agenda-free approach to them all, and I think that'll be wonderful.
Alrighty.
All right. Let's jump in. Here we go. Today's hot topics. So, Hughes, I have to ask you, have you followed any of this Alec Baldwin madness that's here?
Briefly, I have, yes.
Yeah. So apparently this thing went into a courtroom today. All right. An Alec Baldwin hearing turns into a verbal brawl between Russ prosecutor and defense lawyer. Judge sets ruling on dismissing involuntary manslaughter charges for next week. So he's still trying to get this dismissed. Mm-hmm. So, do you remember the incident? You remember what happened to you?
Well, apparently he was handling a gun on the set and everything, and next thing you know, it went off, and the bullet went into the stunt woman and killed her and everything. And then he's claiming that he didn't mean to shoot it and all of that. It just went off all of a sudden. There were also photos where he was on the phone just like either angry or have like in a lot of fear and everything. And only to find out there's reports stating that he probably actually meant to he actually meant to pull the trigger, but didn't mean to actually let it hit anybody.
Yeah, and actually the lady that he hit was actually the cinematographer who was actually behind the camera.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it went, and what's sad, Hughes, is it went through her and obviously killed her, but it also hit the director and some shrapnel hit him in the shoulder. I mean, it's like the guy got a twofer, and I feel very bad for her family, Helena Hutchins' family, but you're right. All of what you said there was accurate. I mean, he had to have pulled the trigger is the assessment here. But I'm going to read this story and I want to hear you react because I think it's important because again, the way you cover things is amazing. So,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, the quote is, "I'm not going to sit here and be called a liar." In what was one of a number of acidic exchanges today between lawyers, that's what clearly heated Russ special prosecutor Carrie Morrissey told virtual hearing today on a motion by Alec Baldwin's defense to see if involuntary manslaughter charges against their client dismissed. Despite his lawyer's best efforts on Friday over the long hearing, Baldwin will not know for several more days if he's going to still stand trial this summer on involuntary manslaughter charges for the fatal 2021 shooting of Russ cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Now, look, accidental or no, and with the assessment of police and the FBI, there was no way, and I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but there's no way that a gun goes off without pulling the trigger, right?
Right.
So I think it's odd. Now, look, I mean, I understand wanting to avoid culpability here. I do. But at the same time, not only was he the actor that did the action, and not only was there a live round in the chamber, and I could argue that maybe he didn't know that, but he also was supervising this shoot as an executive producer because he's an executive producer on the film.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's reasonable for him to ask out of this particular charge?
He might think so. Those who are close to him might think so, but the rest of us, whether it be normies or movie critics or anybody else, even construction workers down the road, they will say that he shouldn't be. He just doesn't want to take accountability because of the fact that he fears that he's gonna face like small amount of jail time, having to pay fines and stuff with the money that he has and everything, and then basically he doesn't want to take accountability.
Yeah, and I think that's largely what the the prosecution here is actually
Yeah, and
thinking.
granted, he didn't really mean to hurt anybody, but the fact of the matter is, he basically continued to deflect it and stuff, and didn't really state that yeah, I pulled the trigger, but I didn't mean for it to shoot like the bullet hit anybody. Yeah, I feel bad for him too, but at the same time, like you know, like Six is just saying, he has the if she's going to bring up the point I was going to bring up, the public opinion and everything is going to get to him, worse than the court opinion will, but that public opinion will actually fade like over time and stuff because of the fact that it's not like the kind of scandals that we're acclimated with, kind of like with Justice Smollett, or even what's that actor that was Kang from the Ant-Man and Watch Quantumania?
Oh, Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, but this is where someone like had lost their life as well as somebody else got injured and everything. I mean, I haven't really heard about anybody who I work with and stuff, or who I be around, talk about Alec Baldwin, and he shot a gun and went off and bullet went into somebody. But other than that, I mean, I don't think he's gonna really face any, jail time or anything like that. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I think it's odd that this is continuing to be delayed because this is the fourth time that I believe, third or fourth time that he's tried to get, his attorneys have tried to get this charge removed. But Judge Mary Marlowe Summer told the assembled attorneys that she'll make public next week her decision on whether or not to dismiss the indictment. So lots of
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
I
Can hear
can't
you.
hear you. But
You can't hear me. All right, you may have to step out and come back. You may have to leave and come back.
I still don't hear anything.
All right. All right. Well, hang out here for a second, Hughes.
My headphone jack went out. Sorry, y'all. I
It
can
was
hear you again.
it was a Hughes show.
Yeah, the my headphone jack went out.
No, I don't think it was you. I think every once in a while the system will do that. So if that doesn't happen again, you can always refresh. Anyway, so the judge will be putting the decision in writing. So yeah, they basically saying look for that. So
Hmm.
this was the panel size right here. Look at all of these people involved in this. Right?
And it actually hit me because of the fact that it's virtual.
Yeah, it's very
Like,
strange.
yeah, like, are they like in different locations throughout the U.S. and stuff where they're not able to make it,
Well,
or
you have to remember there's still some people that are afraid of becoming ill. So if you look here, I believe they were all or probably all in New Mexico, but yeah, and again, I mean the special prosecutor said, I have no idea what Mr. Spiro is talking about. Everything he is saying to you right now is complete representation of what has happened.
hmm
And I guess that the lawyer from New York is maybe this is why they have a New York lawyer involved in this, but that's what people do. Morrissey caustically added in a repeat opinions on defense expressed in past filings by the prosecution in the high profile case. So you can already see that Deadline may have a little bit of a lean one way or the other, and it looks like they're leaning towards supporting Baldwin's argument.
I
So
guarantee you, if he gets off, he's just like the victim's family is going to go after him in civil court.
Well,
And
exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's because, and maybe you want to comment on the fact that Baldwin is right now fighting half a dozen civil cases in California and New Mexico for this. Yeah.
for this,
Yeah. Related to Rust. Yeah.
dang.
Yeah. He settled the case with Hutchins's husband and son in 2022. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're actually resumed production. Um, and Matthew Hutchins, who was Helena Hutchins's husband and now
Hmm.
widower, is actually an executive producer on the film. So they completed filming in Montana with Baldwin and Souza returning as star producer and director, respectively. So the guy that got also wounded
Yeah,
was there as well. That's wild. So what do
man,
you think? What do you think?
I'm surprised there's not really any conflict of interest and stuff because this like screams conflict of interest all over it. You know, makes me wonder if like how many people actually decided to go ahead and stick around and everything since Alec Baldwin is still there as the actor. You know, but the fact of the matter is like he still has like pending legal mitigations and stuff against him. I'm gonna tell you this: whatever acting role he's offered and everything, without an audition, he better take it in order to pay off those legal fees as well as settlements and everything. Because Alec Baldwin, like one decision, not well, no, the several decisions not only to pick up that gun and everything, but also say what he said and all of that, and not fully take responsibility there first. I mean, now the consequences are coming to haunt him and everything, and that's really unfortunate. And I feel bad for him, to be honest with you. But other than that, I mean, if you done something wrong, even if it's an accident, just go ahead and own up to it at least. But public opinion is still going to go after him for a while, possibly not forever, unless he's passed away and all of that. And this like we want to be the one of many things he's known for. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's not going to be known for the lovable dope that was on 30 Rock, right?
or the shadow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, it's a real shame, but something else is a real shame, and we are shifting gears wildly here unless we have some. You know what? I'm going to go to the chat, see if we have any comments on this. Yes, Ruby Hoob says it's a lot of court time. It is. It is indeed. Breezy's Comics and Collectibles says the rich can just throw money around after they killed someone, and it's all rainbows and unicorns. Well, look, I mean, if there is there is a claim of compensation. There was a settlement made. Some of that's done. Ruby Hoove, I think you're probably right. Maybe probation if they find him guilty.
Hmm.
And look, I'm not going to defend the guy because he is a little bit of a lunatic, but you know, people can be touched by things in various different ways. Um, yeah, Alec Baldwin can also spread rabies. I don't know, Rob, but maybe. Yeah. And Wabbit777 says the exact thing. Screw him. He's been nothing but garbage for years. Let him face up to his wrongdoing like a man. I don't know what's going to happen, guys, but everybody has a little bit of an opinion. Now, like I said, we're going to shift gears to something weird, and I want to know your thoughts on this, Hughes. I'm not sure how much of a video game guy you are, but I know this. A lot of people are going to have an opinion on Grand Theft Auto. So Grand Theft Auto 6 sets fall 2025 release as Take-Two posts a $2.9 billion quarterly loss.
I wonder why.
I don't know. It's pretty wild.
Well, because of the fact that aren't there certain consulting firms associated with the developers of this game?
There are. There are. And the question is, what else were they involved in? And how do you lose $2.9 billion
Before the release of a game?
Yeah. So anyway, this is going to show up in the autumn of 2025. So really, it's a little over a year and a half away, or a quarter away anyway. So the news was announced on Thursday when Rockstar parent company Take-Two reported its fourth quarter and fiscal year 2024 earnings, revealing the company posted a $2.9 billion loss for January 1 through March 31. Take-Two's most recent guidance for the quarter had been a loss between $170 million and $153 million. Now, the company says the fiscal Q4 loss of $2.9 billion included a $2.18 billion goodwill charge, a $304.3 million hit for acquisition-related expenses, and restructuring costs of $93.3 million. So Take-Two is not prepared to get more specific on fall 2025 for GTA 6, the CEO, Strauss Zelnick, was saying. I think we're going to leave it there for now in an interview with Variety ahead of the company's quarterly earnings call that was at 4:30 p.m. yesterday. The announcement will come from Rockstar and be consistent with the way they are marketing the title. So the trailer smashed viewership records on YouTube when it was released in December, indicating the extreme demand for the title after more than a decade since the release of GTA 5. Now, Hughes, what do you have any? Tell me what your background is with GTA. Have you ever played these games?
Never played them. I've heard about them, but I've never played them.
They're kind of fun. They are, especially the last few, and GTA 5 specifically, is kind of a very much an open world with a massive map. The ability to drive cars all over the place, upgrade the cars, repaint the cars, run from the police, chase people, the whole nine. They also added in jet skis, boats, bicycles, motorcycles, ATVs of sorts, and so many more things. And they have base jumping you can do. You can jump from planes. You can fly planes. You can fly helicopters. All of this in an effort for a team of 3 characters, which you can play each of the 3 characters, to complete heist missions. So that's kind of what this is. And it even has an online version where you can kind of do the same types of things.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, these games are very creative. They're very story driven, and they're massive. And the problem is they're also very raw, and they have some, very, very much they've created and crafted and honed an audience that appreciates what's being presented and a level of authenticity and crassness that just is natural to this.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think that gamers fear about this title?
Well, they fear that it's actually gone woke and everything because of who they let the consulting firm associate with them, as well as the fact that it's taking place in Florida and all that, and a lot some people excited about that. Then there's other people who either throughout the U.S. or even from Florida and stuff may not really care too much about it. But the fact of the matter is that you know if one thing comes to another, they fear that there's going to be more players and more characters in the game and stuff who they're going to try to make it look like there's people in real life that they might see themselves that they think that people want them to see themselves in the game and stuff. I mean,
So you'd say they were concerned about the influence of something like Sweet Baby Inc., who is
mhm.
actually involved in this game.
Oh yeah, because they're the reasons why like there's a number of games out there where the women like have like much uglier faces with messed up teeth, but at the same time masculine features, if you know what I mean.
Understand. Understand. You know, this CEO really does try to do an awful lot of deflection, talking about, bringing in gaming studios and then eliminating a lot of the talent there. Because
Hmm.
you have to remember, Take Two acquired Zynga and so many other things, including they're on the verge of the Gearbox um, consumption, which means they're going to start wrecking that.
Yep.
Um, Borderlands is about to release the film into
Mm.
theaters based on the game, and I think the game is just about run its course.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I heard about that.
so he seems to think that top line growth for 2025, 26, and 27 are going to be massive, based probably on Grand Theft Auto 6 alone. I'd say the last good game that they will probably be able to claim as good or as profitable will be Red Dead Redemption 2, but of course we'll see.
Think
So
so?
yeah, I think I don't know that this game is going to be as profitable as anything previous, especially GTA 5. But Take Two reported a loss per share of $17.02 on $1.3 billion in net bookings, as compared to a year ago quarter where it reported a $610.3 million loss on net bookings of 1.39 billion. So not only are their net bookings retreating, um, so is their loss per share is going up. That's really bad news. So NBA 2K24, I guess, sold 9 million copies. I don't know if that's a lot. Doesn't sound like it. Grand Theft Auto Online and Grand Theft Auto 5. Obviously, those drive profit constantly. Toon Blast, which is a handheld game. Empires and Puzzles, which is a handheld game. And Red Dead Redemption 2, which I just talked about, and Red Dead Redemption Online, which are really good to play. I can't believe WWE 2K24 did well, but there's that. So, anyway, from the full year fiscal year 2024 included results from April 1 through March 31, reporting a 5.35 billion in total revenue and a net loss of 3.7 billion, probably because of all the acquisitions. This company's in trouble. I don't think it's going the right way, but neither is Ubisoft, and we're not going to talk about that because that's a widespread mess that could turn into hours of conversation, and I only have you for about another 28 minutes because, we've got your show coming up. All right. So, look, do you have any thoughts on this, on how a massive game studio with one of the most popular games of the decade is now booking losses regularly?
My thing is like, okay, if that's the case, then they have to because I'm pretty sure they have like a lot of investors back in this game right now, and they want to make sure that they're. I think they want to make sure they're more transparent and everything, but at the same time, the investors as well as the shareholders are not going to be pretty happy about this because of the fact that some of them like might have at least like heard some of the things and stuff about the consulting firm that they're associated with, or they probably have like high hopes of this because Grand Theft Auto is the greatest game out there and everything, and surely, with title alone, everybody's gonna love it and they're gonna enjoy playing it. But in reality, if they see that the sales are down and everything, that's when they're gonna get worried.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Brian seems to think that GTA 6 is done. The release was pushed back due to DEI firms being uncovered.
Oh
They're
yeah.
just really hoping people will forget by next year. I don't think people are going to forget. Hey, Read by Nature is playing GTA Online right now as he listens to us. That's fantastic. You get to involve yourself with ladies who sell aspects of themselves, and then you can rob them or run them over or whatever. That's true.
Well put.
Yeah. Keely Chow, all I have to say is roll tide. Roll tide. Carlos Alfredo Lopez is more woke crap into games. Stop buying those AAA games for 2 or 3 years. You sound like Grums, and I agree with you. I'm not going to buy this game. Normally, I would buy this game sight unseen, trusting it would be good. But I've been burned too many times, and I have zero interest going forward.
I say this. I feel the same way about certain sports leagues as well as movies and shows.
Yeah. And Ruby says, hopefully the woke folk will wake up. The sooner the better. Indeed. Indeed.
Well, they're starting to right now.
Yeah. And according to Read by Nature, there was a plan to support Red Dead Online in a similar fashion to GTA, but they chose to sink all their money into GTA Online, even canceling GTA 5's single-player DLC. Yeah, that was disappointing. That was very disappointing. Hey, Real Wade's a gamer. He's here. What's going on, Real Wade? Congratulations on your continued growth. You're doing rather well, my friend. So well done. Well done. We've got the Duxon, 1977, saying, "Hail, Mr. Hughes." Indeed, hail, Mr. Hughes.
Hail, Duxon.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at Take-Two's investors, looks identical to Disney. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Robin.
That's concerning.
It is. Yep, you got Vanguard State Street. You got same group, Nasty Globalist Corpse. Indeed. Man, the chat's on fire. Thank you guys for being here. We got over 100 of you watching live right now. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you'll follow the redirect to Views with Hughes because he does agenda-free news and has a great live stream coming up here. In fact, I have the magic redirect coming up. Views with... Oops. I'm making sure this happens right now, Hughes. Use with use agenda-free news. Still is not allowing me to do it. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, let me revisit that on my end and see what happens here. But while we do that, we do have more to talk about. So, with that being said, let's move on to the last two pieces of news I wanted to visit on with Hughes. Let's get rid of the chat box and bring up the next story. What do you think about AI, Hughes? What do you think? Are you excited? Are you worried? Tell me what you think, and we'll dive into the story.
Well, if it's used correctly and everything, then maybe the AI overlords won't try to go ahead and destroy humanity, Skynet style.
That would be good.
But I think there's like too much control over it because for one, it's AI, and then it's crazy how like a set of human beings will try to make AI biased and everything. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I think it's built into it already, so I completely understand where you're coming from there. I really do. Well, let's take a look at the story real quick. It says, a former OpenAI leader that just left says safety has taken a backseat to shiny products at the AI company. Now, mind you, OpenAI is the most public out there with ChatGPT, which they just released an update of. A former OpenAI leader who resigned from the company earlier this week said Friday that safety has taken a backseat to shiny products. Jan Leike who ran OpenAI's super alignment team alongside a company co founder, who also resigned this week, wrote in a series of posts on social media platform X that he joined the San Francisco based company because he thought it would be the best place to do AI research. However, I've been disagreeing with OpenAI leadership about the company's core priorities for some time until we finally reached a breaking point. An AI researcher by training, like he said, he believes there should be more focus on preparing for the next generation AI models, including on things like safety and analyzing the societal impacts of such technologies. He said building smarter than human machines is an inherently dangerous endeavor, and that the company is shouldering an enormous responsibility on behalf of all humanity. That seems rather terrifying.
To say the least. But other than that, I mean, what is it that he knows that we don't? What is he trying to tell us?
You know,
Is he trying to is he trying to beat around the bush so he won't give out too much information, and he wants us to go ahead and try to figure out what it means himself, or is he saying something that like we could mean have it mean one thing, but then he actually means something a different way?
yeah. I mean, look. I mean, I obviously I've been playing around with AI, and so has Grant. He's been doing some amazing things. He created a culture casino chatbot, by the way. Maybe someday he'll share it with everybody. But it is a little eerie to have a conversation with yourself, which I did today. So it should be a little terrifying because it does use my intonation and my vocal, my pattern of speech and such. But it's not advanced enough to fool people, but some people could get confused, I would think. I'm just
Right.
worried that without safe development, there could be a lot more trouble. So again, like he wrote more, saying OpenAI must become a safety first AGI company. So that's artificial general intelligence, which is what they're trying to develop, and they can eliminate humans, which is the plan all along. So OpenAI CEO Sam Altman wrote in a reply to Likey's post that he was super appreciative of Likey's contributions to the company. It was very sad to see him leave. Likey is right. We have a lot more to do. We are committed to doing it. So he responded. And again, this is the guy that, they almost got rid of. Then they brought him back. And, you have to remember, Elon Musk dumped a bunch of money into OpenAI as well.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, so another co-founder and chief scientist, Ilya Sutskever, said Tuesday that he was leaving the company after nearly a decade. So mind you, these are two people that started there originally. Sutskever was one of four board members last fall who voted to push Altman out, only to quickly reinstate him. Sutskever, who told Altman last November that he was being fired, but later said he was regretting. But he later said he regretted doing so, and he was working on a new project that's meaningful to him without offering additional details. And he's being,
Interesting.
yeah. So what tells me is some of these people are going to go off and work on a lot safer AI. I don't know. What do you think after hearing that story, Hughes? Or are you concerned, worried? Are you terrified? I mean, there's a lot going on here.
Mm, that depends on like what exactly are they trying to do? Are they trying to get people to like become more familiar with it, trying to be comfortable using it and stuff? But the fact of the matter is that if they're gonna go ahead and do this, then who's to say that they wouldn't try to exploit it and stuff for their personal usage and everything? Because you already have like a lot of film companies and stuff, and also different organizations using AI and stuff to
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead and write different articles,
yeah.
and then like making them biased and everything.
Oh
And
yeah.
who's to say that a culture war won't break out between AI and they're finally infiltrated technologies and stuff in the world, and also have to go ahead and destroy humanity of those and like those who are on the opposing political sides and stuff of the spectrum.
Yeah, I think well it's already tainted. I mean, it's already skewed extremely to an erratically progressive agenda. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can get it to do some things, but then you can't get it to others. There's no balance to the force. so to
Yeah,
speak. But Brian McCann said, AI told me Hughes was a samurai. Are you a samurai, Hughes?
I wish.
Argentum says, Drunk 3PO retweeted a video about a service that was AI to pretend to be a human to make calls on behalf of businesses. Not cool use for it, in my opinion. I don't think it's cool to use these things at all. I think it's terrifying, misrepresentative. And I think it'd be easy to foil and flub them up right now, which would tell you who was actually doing it. Six was hoping that you would start flexing. You gonna flex for six there?
Oh,
No, no. You're gonna
I
flex.
mean,
All right, there it is. There you go. There you go. Six. Well done. Carlos Alfredo Lopez. The real problem is not AI could get smarter than the average human, rather than people are being dumbed down. No, people are and have been being dumbed down. I swear to goodness that when I go out in public, young people, it's like half the young people are like idiocracy, and the other half are normal humans. So it's very strange.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
As a teacher myself,
Mm.
I've seen that like a lot of students and stuff using AI stuff early in the school year, but then when they realize that they got caught and the teachers using like software to determine if you've used AI, that's when they stopped. And a number of these students who's been using AI now they can't even do proper capitalization. And these are students in high school.
Yeah.
And they can't really like put out a paragraph. And these are also students who who started high school right when the schools reopened back in 2021 from the pandemic.
Yeah, I think that correct me if I'm wrong, Hughes, but I think the problem is that students are just being passed along grade to grade, and they're not held accountable for anything. That
Oh, some of them are like that, especially those who have like disabilities. Is like when they're really low and everything, when they're so low that they're never going to grasp the materials and stuff. So that's when they're passing along. And then there was like a case like last school year where I knew a kid during my substituting days and stuff, since he was in elementary school and he was still in special education and self-contained classes, and lo and behold, he's already in the 11th grade. But the thing is, he doesn't, do the basic reading and writing skills as well as solve math problems because he doesn't know the stuff. He was basically passed along and stuff somehow from the 6th grade into the 11th grade.
wow,
Yeah. And
wow.
I'm starting to see like a number of these students and stuff, like the system's failing them.
Well, the system's failing a lot of people right now. And it's not even just in schools. A lot of institutions are failing people. It's probably one of the reasons why there's so much pushback. It's probably one of the reasons why your channel is successful. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Hughes, you should be. Over 15,000 people are already. And he needs to grow and get the wisdom out in the world. Agenda Free News. Yeah.
Not to mention, I went in mind making this into a full career change and stuff where I get what I dedicated to actually putting out the agenda free news and stuff.
Yeah.
Like basically, like for me, a basic support is just to subscribe to the channel and watch the videos. And if you enjoy the video, smash the like button and also comment below your thoughts about it. Even if it's corrections, if I'm wrong about anything, I'm encouraging that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
No,
in my live, and even my
look,
live stream, I answer I respond to all comments and stuff that's posted in the live stream chat too. Go ahead.
yeah. No, no. I was just going to ask you. I mean, I always tell people, look, if I'm wrong, tell me, because I'm not any. I'm willing to learn everything, right? And Six makes a good point. People are generally dumb at as heck. So there. Putin's cat. Yes, I do a Friday stream post FNT or as they're wrapping up to just interview one of the wonderful people I have contact with on the regular, like Hughes, who's got a great channel of agenda free news. Rob Linton says, I'm dumber than I used to be. Could be aging thing, though, too. Or concussions. Never mind.
Hey, Rob. At least you're not as dumb as the orcs and everything that runs around. That was created by Morgoth, as well as the Uruk-hai that were created by Sauron and everything.
True
They're really
story.
dumb.
True story. And speaking of dumb, the show that's basing themselves off of a couple of appendices are dumb. That trailer got ratioed to heck, right?
I'm so annoyed with Jeff Bezos as well as Jennifer Saki. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Like, they took a few appendices and everything. And I talked about this in videos on my channel too.
Yep.
They took a few appendices and stuff, trying to go ahead and make it the latest, greatest, like better than like their own version of Game of Thrones, as y'all know. And only to find out that the show wasn't really popular with people. And you had like several actors up there who admitted that they're activists and stuff, stating that, telling, especially the woman who played Guy Landriel, as I call her, telling the people to read the book, read the book, read the book. Here's the thing. They've read the book, and then they found out that y'all don't even have the rights to the Silmarillion. You only have the rights to a few pages of a famous novel.
Yep.
So where in the world do you get all that stuff from the Second Age from?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
That's another reason why they like changed a few things around in the story and stuff, because of the fact that they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion. No one has the rights to the Silmarillion. At least not yet. I guarantee you Warner Brothers or MGM may have more rights to it sooner.
You know what? I think you're right. I think that I think Warner's has it's going to try to keep making movies to keep the rights. So there's that. All right. Yep. I meant the rings. Power. That's right. That's right. All right, Hughes. We need to wrap up because you got a stream coming up, and I want you to have a chance to promote yourself to each and everybody and for me to get out of the way.
First and foremost, can everybody see me and hear me?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you. And they can too. You keep popping in and out. Whatever's going on is the internet, maybe. I don't know. But
it might be the internet.
We're at the point now where you get to plug yourself.
Well, hang on, I got a bit of an audio issue on my end. Can you see and hear me now?
To do this, Hughes is having trouble with connection. So I'll say this. Coming up next is Views with Hughes, agenda-free news, and his amazing stream. In about 7 minutes, 45 seconds, you are going to be automatically redirected there from here. And when you finish up over there hanging out with Hughes, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for Hughes. When you finish up over there, you're going to want to check out Ascendant Art, which is Ascendant Art. And I'm pretty excited for that. But I'll show you what Hughes has going on. It's this stream right here, ba-boom. And yeah, should be pretty good. Covering the Rings of Power fail. That's right. So I've already done all the things. You should do all the things too. And check it out. Books, check them out. All right. If Hughes comes back, I'll let him plug himself, but he does have a great channel. Over 15,000 people are subscribed already, so if you're not, please do so. Putin's Cat asked me a question. Let me get to it in just a moment. Do you use StreamYards and OBS? I use OBS. I do not use StreamYards other than on things. Mr. Gregory says, see you later, non-AI casino. There you go. Indeed. But no, I use, this is EV Mux is what I use to stream so I can have all the fancy things and transitions and all of that. Man, I wish Hughes would pop back up, but I think you just may be having some internet trouble. And OBS does rock. It works very, very well, especially for doing things like recording and stuff like that. And I've got a couple of videos to re-record for Grant this weekend and everything else. Lisa's here. Good to see you, Lisa. Tastier back in the 80s is here. And I had a great Friday. Yep, EVMux, EVMUX.com. Yep. Does lots of great transition, lets me run videos and things like that, and help people promote what they've got going on. So, Rob Linton says, thanks, folks. Have a peaceful weekend. Well, I hope you do as well. And without further ado, I'll let Hughes promote what he's got going on.
Sorry about that, y'all. I had a bit of a technical difficulty on my end. Culture, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for having me on your show today. And I also like to thank you all for welcoming me as well.
Oh, yeah.
Do apologize for the technical difficulties, by the way, but
No
on
worries.
my channel, as I stated earlier in the live stream, I talk about agenda-free pop culture news and also sometimes about current events. Now, if my following gets a little bigger, then I'll move over to current events news as well. But I make sure that it's all agenda-free, meaning that it's not promoting the status quo and it's not going along with the status quo as well. I'm also doing the live streams and stuff. I cover all things Disney, Warner Brothers, as well as, well, even Tolkien, and then movies and shows too. So, yeah, there it is right there. Go ahead and glad that you all had me here.
Popping in today. We truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to have you back at a later date, which we'll talk about. So, right after this stream, automatically you'll be sent over to Views with Hughes, who'll be live with his agenda free news in 4 minutes. See
All
you
right,
there, folks.
gotta hurry up and get set up.
See ya.
See it.